So welcome dear all. Today we are going to discuss another question of income tax, that is again a very repeated question. Repeatedly it comes in exam. The question is, what is agricultural income, and discuss agricultural, that is the partly agricultural income also. So fully agricultural and partly agricultural income also, and the tax implications. Now to start with, number one question arises, what is agricultural income? And before that, remember a section. The section is section 10, subsection 1. It says that agricultural income in India is exempt from tax. So it is exempted, means no tax is applicable on agricultural income. Of course, as I go through this further, I'll be making certain changes in this statement also. So, what is agricultural income? Any rent or revenue which is derived from land, and this land is situated in India. So any rent or revenue which is derived from land situated in India, but main condition now is it should be used for agricultural purposes. Now what are the agricultural purposes, what we mention over here? Suppose you see spontaneous growth of grass, or some trees and all which are grown by its own, and then you cut it and you sell it in the market. This is not agricultural income, mind it. For an income to be an agricultural income, certain conditions have to be fulfilled. So any income which is derived from the land, which I talked about, the one which was being used for agricultural purposes and the one which is in India. So it is used for agricultural purposes, and some agricultural operations have been done. Which operations? Sowing of seeds, harvesting, weeding, watering, tilling of land, everything, every such operation has been done. So I repeat, where agricultural operations like irrigation, harvesting, then sowing of seeds, weeding, and tilling or digging or cutting, whatever, all these sort of agricultural operations have been done, this condition needs to be satisfied. Then it, other words I can say, some human skill, some human labor is applied on that land for growing of produce or growing of the crop. So according to section 21A, some conditions need to be fulfilled. The condition are, if these conditions are fulfilled, we can say that it qualifies for being an agricultural income. First says, income is derived from land. So the land factor. Number two, this land should be where? It should be in India. Now land is in India and it is used for agricultural purposes. So second condition we can say agricultural purpose is main, and the third is the India factor. So if these things are proved, then we can say that yes, the income which is being getting is the agricultural income. So if any agricultural income is derived from outside India, mind it, that is not going to be exempted in India. It is fully taxable in India, and under which head? Under the head income from other source. For example, income from agricultural in India, exempted. Income from agricultural in Bangladesh, so that is going to be fully taxable, and the amount we will be putting up under the head income from other sources. Now moving further, types of agricultural income. So what are the various types of agricultural income? The type is, number one, we can say any rent or revenue which is derived from agricultural land. So any rent or revenue which is derived from agricultural land. Rent, here we need to clarify Suppose X is the owner of the plot, but he himself is not doing this all agricultural operation. Instead, he gave this on rent to Y. Y is his tenant, and he gives him, and he is receiving what? He is receiving the rent. So any rent or revenue means even if X is not doing any operation, he has given this land to Y, and Y is doing all those operations and he is giving the rent to X. Now rent can be given either in cash form, or it can be given in form of agricultural produce also. A part of it can be given as an agricultural produce also. So whatever X is receiving for X, it is going to be an rent, and it is agricultural income. So any rent or revenue which is derived from this agricultural land. Next, any income which is being accruing to a person. Now what is that person? What he is doing? He is performing any process in order to render the produce fit for sale in the market. So anything, any process, even if that is done, let's say when we see that how cotton grows, it is in raw form, and that flour, and that when we go and purchase that raw cotton from market, we don't see it that way. It is taken out of that flour, and it is that dried flour, and then we get the bale of cotton from market. So anything which you have rendered, any process, anything you have done in order to make it fit for sale in the market, and you derive any income from that, then also that is going to be considered as agricultural income. So this process is to render the produce fit for sale in the market. I hope it's clear. Then is the next one, that is, now you remember X in our earlier example, what he had done. He had received rent, and he had received rent in cash form also. He had received rent in dues, you know. So when he can also do the same thing, he can also do that certain process in order to render it fit for sale in the market, and he can sell. So whatever he will get, he will also get the income, which will be called as agricultural income. So any income which is received by the person by the sale of the produce which is raised or received by him as rent in kind. I think now the technical sentence is clear to you. And then another aspect is income from a building. Now income from building. Now which building? Now what is this building is used for? Now this building is being used for agricultural purposes. Now maybe as a outhouse, maybe as a storehouse. Clear? Now this should be away from the municipal limits. We say the farmhouse, income from any farmhouse, another word which we use it over here. So income from any farmhouse, that is also as an agricultural income. But there are certain specified limits, 8 kilometers beyond, and the population limit is also there. So you have to mention all these things in order to fulfill, get this income exempted, income from a farmhouse. Because whenever I am saying I am discussing these all incomes, remember these are, we started off with one sentence that agricultural income is exempted from tax. Now we come to the next category, that what is that partly agricultural income, right? Now partly agricultural income, here there are certain categories. What we do is if we render, we just do a process in order to make it fit for sale in the market, that's fine. But when we do some additional processes on it in order to get a higher profit, now it means that we have some business instinct also. So whatever profit we are going to get, it is either going to be two parts. One is agricultural income and the another is non-agricultural income. Now this non-agricultural income, I can even call it as business income. So this is business income. I hope the things are clear. So this is a business income. Now there are certain categories. So while we writing down the percentage, you will have to memorize and you have to write that in exams also. So first is tea, growing and manufacturing of tea in India. So in that case, what is the percentage of agricultural to non-agricultural? Suppose 1 lakh is the income, so we will, according to the ratio, it will be divided. The ratio is 60 is to 40%. So 60% is to 40% tea grown and manufactured in India. Next is rubber business. Agricultural to non-agricultural ratio is 65% to 35%. Then we have coffee. Now in the case of coffee, remember, if coffee is grown and cured, then in that case the ratio is 75 to 25. But it is only grown and cured. Let me write it down. Grown and cured. Now in case coffee is grown, cured, roasted and then grounded into the powder form. Grown, cured, we have a chalk. If the coffee is grown, cured, roasted, grounded, then in that case this percentage is going to be 60 is to 40%. So these are the various cases of partly agricultural income. Now, which are, let's say, you need to write down some example that which are non-agricultural incomes. For example, a manager of the farmhouse, he is receiving salary of 1 lakh. So, is that an agricultural income? No, because he is receiving salary. So, it is not agricultural income, it is non-agricultural income. So similarly, you can say you gave your plot of land for the purpose of जैसे वो मंडी लगती है हमारी कभी weeklies, clear, in order for that sale of vegetables. So in that case, whatever you are getting this income of plot, that is income from other sources, it is not an agricultural income. Mind it, whenever you try to find out whether it is an agricultural income or not, apply the test that whether agricultural operations have been done or not. So there are regarding income tax implications of agricultural income. Remember that with effect from assessment year 74-75, in case an assessee is having, the individual is having both agricultural and non-agricultural income, in that case integration is to be done. The agricultural and non-agricultural income is integrated. Now, agricultural income, if it is more than 5,000 rupees, and non-agricultural income, if it is more than the limits with the exemption limits, that is 2,50,000 or 3 lakh or 5 lakh as the case is, if it is more than these limits, then in that case, if agricultural income is more than this figures and non-agricultural income is more than this, then they are integrated. Integrated मतलब इनको इकट्ठा ऐड कर देना है, ऐड करके उनके ऊपर हमने टैक्स निकालना है. But what are the steps? A quick I am going to write down, explain these steps. So the first is, if this condition is fulfilled, then proceed further. So what is the first step? Step 1 says that aggregate agricultural plus non-agricultural income. This is step 1. Step 2, what we have to do is we have to find out tax. So calculate tax. So suppose this figure is xxx, then calculate the tax at the slab rates on this figure, that is xxx. Suppose that figure comes out to be this one. The tax comes out to be small x. Let's say it comes out to be small x. Clear? Then in third stage, what we have to do? We have to add the exemption limit. So suppose it is applicable to an individual is 2,50,000. We add that 2,50,000 to the agricultural income. So step 3, add either 2,50,000 or in case of senior citizen 3 or super senior 5, as the case is, you add this to the agricultural income. Suppose this comes out to be y. Suppose this figure is y, right? Now again step 4, calculate tax on this y. So when we calculate this tax, let's say it is small y. We have, let me show it to you. Wait, let me do the adjustment of camera. Yes. So it is calculated as y. On this income, we calculate a tax at the slab rates and it comes out to be y. Now just see, we have two taxes. One over here x and the other over here as y. So what is our next step? Next step is, what we have to do is we have to find out the difference of these two taxes. So how I am writing this off. So step 5 is calculate the difference. So the tax we calculated earlier, that is x minus y, the tax we calculated now. So you can say the tax calculated in step 2 minus calculated in step 4. So the tax which was we calculated, that the difference has to be found out, and then of course go ahead with whatever we get over here. Let's say that is z. So on z we will be applying so step 6 says, on this z we are going to apply surcharge, then we are going to apply cess as the things are. So apply surcharge and cess on z, okay, on the difference which was calculated above. So I think this question is clear to you. And one note, remember, the rebate of section 87A is allowed to resident individual when, if the non-agricultural income does not exceed rupees 5 lakh in the previous year, and this rebate shall be equal to the tax on total income or rupees 12,500, whichever is less. You have to add this in your this statement. So when we calculate the surcharge and cess, let's say we calculate it as Z1. So what is the total tax liability? Step 7, Z and then Z1, all that total surcharge and cess calculated, that will be our tax liability, okay? And round it off, do write down the last thing. Tax payable is to be rounded off to the nearest multiple of 10. So this is all of this question. You are expected to attach a numerical example after this, and just attach a smaller example, that suppose agricultural income is this one, let's say you take it as 4 lakh and agricultural income you take it as 10,000 and non-agricultural income you take it as 4 lakh, and you calculate the tax on it and apply these steps, and write down example. So surely you are going to get good grades and good marks. So all the best. That's all for the day. Revise well and have a blessed day ahead. Thank you.